Hello grade 11s, we're going to revise databases now. Database connectivity, and this is an example of a table. It's called the life table. It's all about blood donation. If you look at, this is a screenshot of the table. If you see the alignment to the right, then you know those are numbers, either real or integers. Anything aligned to the left are strings or dates, or true and false, but numbers are typically aligned to the right, so you know straight away that those are numbers. In this case they would be integers. Units donated per year is an integer. Let's go to our program. In this particular program you don't have to connect the database. When you run the program it will automatically connect it, but sometimes, more often than not, you have to go and reconnect the connection string of the connection component in your data module, as I've shown you in class. But we're not going to do that now. We're going to do some database manipulation. The first one we're going to do for revision is to display in the rich edit, or the memo, we're going to display the surnames of all learners who donated more than 4 units per year. So units donated per year and surname is going to be involved. So to do that we need to go to the first row of our table, and we're going to use the component yikes, I can't remember what this component name is now. Okay, TBL Life. Over there, so that's fine. So we say TBL life dot first. Always go to the first row. Then we say while not do begin and end, and then you must put TBL life dot next. You're going to say dot next. Property is very important. Otherwise that loop will never end. So what we're going to do here is you can't see the table there, we can see it here on the Word document. All units donated per year, if they're less. Now we're going to go through every single row, which is why we're using a while loop. We go to the first row and use a while loop to go through every single row. We're going to display it. If we find a row that fits the criteria, then we'll display it in the rich edit. So we're going to say if TBO life square brackets units donated per year, the field name units donated per year, make sure you spell it correctly. You don't need to use uppercase. If it's greater than 4, then we're going to display in the rich edit, which is called already out dot lines dot add, and then TBL life, and we were going to display the surname. I don't want keyboard manager. Close. Jeepers. Sorry about that. Surname, inverted commas, square brackets. And that's all it is. So, yeah. Run the program. See if it works. And there it is. 4 surnames. Next one. I'm going to go to the next example. Let's go insert a row. Okay, we're going to insert a row. We don't have to insert all the fields. Let's say we're going to insert a first name, a surname, date of birth, and units donated per year. Well, let's just insert the age. So date of birth, first name, surname, date of birth, and age. That's easier. So what we do is we go TBL life.insert. There's no while loop. Don't use any while loop here. When you type what you want the first name to be, and then go to the next record. Whatever that must be. And for the date of birth, that field is called date of birth. Let's say it's 2003, 10, 0406. That is the format you use. You put a naught in front of the month number. So if it's April, 6th of April. Then the next one was the well, I won't do the age. Let's do a learner's grade. These are all integers or numbers, and the field was called learner's grade. Learner's grade colon equals, let's just make it 10. I'm probably wrong there. TBLF.next, and that's it. So you run the code, and you go and insert, and then you go find your record, and it's inserted at the top there, and the learner code is automatically added. Right, now the next one is going to be let's see, what shall we do? Let's go and add up all the units donated per year for everybody born in the month of August. So we're going to calculate the total units donated per year for everyone who was born in the month of August. So we're going to go to the first row, and we have to go through every single row, so then you have to do a dot first and file not tbl life.end file do. So whenever you have to go through every row, why do I know I have to go through every row of the table? Because we want to find out, or we don't know how many rows there are on the table. There actually might be many. It could be hundreds. So we're going to go through every row to see if the person was born in August. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to get a month number, VRI month. I'm going to make that an integer because I'm going to copy and paste. I'll say I month colon equals copy from TBL life square brackets birth date, date of birth, date of birth. We're going to copy from character number 6, and we're going to copy 2 characters for the month. Now there is a problem here because I month is an integer and copying returns a string, so we have to say string to int in front of that copy and wrap this up properly in brackets. Now how do I know it's 6? Because if you look at the format, it's year, month and day, and the characters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is the naught and 4 is the character 7, and it's 2 characters starting from character number 6. Now we're going to ask the question if I month equals 8. Now we can do that even if it was 08, because when you go string to int on a string that's 08, the leading 0 disappears. So if the month is equal to 8, then we're going to total up the values for the year, units donated per year. Now that could be a real number, but it's not. It's an integer, so we'll keep it as an integer. But if it was a real number, we'll have to have a real total. Yeah, but our total is an integer. Now we're going to have a running total. Remember, this total is going to be totaled up inside a loop. You have to start with 0. Even if it's a real number, you have to start with 0 before you total up in the loop. And yeah, we're going to do our totaling of our units donated per year. That's a very long field name, isn't it? Extremely long field name. And I've got my dot next there, so that's safe. As you can see, we're only doing one thing, so I can get rid of this begin and end here. There it is. Now, after the loop, after we've done everything inside the loop, now we're going to display it in the rich edit, and that rich edit is called already out. Already out dot lines dot add and total, just some message, plus into string my total. And that's all that is. So where we've got our units donated per year totaled up. If the month is 8, then we got the month from the date of birth field. Field is the same as a column. Right, I do have some issues. Just a bracket I left out in my rich edit.lines.add statement. So I think that was number 3. Let's go and click. Oops, could not read. Type null into OLE string. Right, doesn't like my string to end copy date of birth. Let's have a look at that field. Is it called date of birth? It is. Oh, there's a null field. So we have a problem in this particular database. So I have to say if TBL life square brackets inverted commas date of birth is not equal to an empty string, then we can go. Otherwise we can't copy from an empty string, because that date of birth we still don't even know if that's going to work. So we'll try it anyway. Oops, didn't like it. Well, we could use our null operator. If not TBL life is null, let's see if that's going to work. I doubt it. No, it doesn't like that. Because you see the date. Oh, okay. Let's go and do a date to string. If date to string, because remember, TBL life is a string, is not equal to an empty string. We try and convert the data type to the date data type of this date of birth, and let's see if it's not equal to an empty string. I don't like that, the fact that we have a null field there for date of birth. Yeah, doesn't like that at all. Right, well, I guess we're going to ignore that for now. I shouldn't have used the date of birth there. Well, we can assume that that date of birth is full. In fact, I can go and fill in a date of birth there while I'm above it. There. So I've just filled it in so it's not null. Okay, so let's go and do that again. Shouldn't give me any worries now. fine. So what has it done? It says their total is 6. What were we counting? Totaling up units donated per year. So if we look at our data carefully, people in August, there's 1, there's another one, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is actually 6 in total. If I look at all of these August, there's 1, 4, or where to, there's 2 there, so that's 3, and then the last 3 is there for St. Clair. So that is correct. 6 units have been total donated if the month is 8. And as I said, there we got rid of that null field by just filling in the date quickly. Next one, let's think of something else now. Alright, let's count how many grade 11 learners actually donated. So we're going to count how many grade 11 learners donated. So we're going to look at learner's grade. And if we're going to count, we'll make an integer variable that we're going to add 1 to each time. We have to set it to equal to 0. So remember, when you're totaling or counting in a loop or anything, well, in this case we're going to go through every single row and see which ones are in grade 11. So we've got to put our first in our while loop, and don't forget we have to put in the dot next afterwards. Dot next, and we're going to ask the question if, and I think it's called learner grade, equals 11, and that's also an integer, then we're going to increment our num. Simple as that. And then over here, all we have to do is display it. Already out dot lines dot add into string our num grade 11 learners donated. So basically we're talking about all grade 11 learners. We want to count how many grade 11 learners actually donated. So we're counting the rows if the learner grade is 11. So we're just incrementing a counter if the learner grade is 11. So I think that was this one, but lots of learners. Okay, learner's grade. There we go. Learner's grade. It's called learner's grade. See, spell it wrong. That's still not working, is it? Oh, what did I do in my rich edit? I wonder, is learner's grade, is that a string or an integer data type? We're going to design view. Learner's grade is a number, yes, and we have the number 11 for grade. It's right there, so that should work. Learner's grade. Maybe I'll put the capitals in, even though I know it doesn't necessarily make a difference. Oh, it's button 5. I was clicking the wrong button. It's button number 5. No wonder. Button 5. There it is. 4 grade 11 learners. So we can even count it manually. 1, 2, 3, 4. You must remember that sometimes you have databases that are very large. There are hundreds of lines and you can't count them manually. That's why we have this code. Right. I missed one of these activities. Did we do a total? We did a total. There we did. And that was number 3. And I've just put number I've put that in there. Okay, let's do this one now. Let's delete something. What shall we delete? Let's delete all blood types B. Okay, we'll wait, we can do the delete the status if it's false or true. So let's delete statuses that are false. Status false. Now when you delete from a table and you're going to delete more than one thing, there's a special way that you're going to do that. That's our status field, and wherever it's false we're going to delete. So we're going to use a loop, tbllife.first, because we would go through every single row to find the false statuses, begin and end, and this is your normal structure. Now we're going to ask the question if tbllife square brackets status, if that equals false, and you just write the word false like that, then we say tbllife dot delete, but you have to do else we go to the next row. If you don't, then you're going to miss one mark because you haven't put the else there. And this is very important. If you're going to delete more than one thing, you do dot delete else dot next, and that's all you have to do. But you have to have the else because we're deleting more than one thing. So that is in button 4. So there you go, they've all been deleted there. Right. If you're only going to delete one thing, then you don't put the else. But if you can delete many, because you know there were many false statuses, there were about 3 or 4, then you have to say delete else next. Otherwise you're going to delete and then go to the next row and you're going to maybe miss one of the false ones. I'll demonstrate to you here. Okay, they have been deleted already. Now you see those two. If I delete this row, I'm going to right click and delete record. Watch what happens. It moves out to the next one. And if I go dot next, instead of deleting, then I'm going to go there, and I've missed that deletion. I've missed deleting that empty one. That's why you have to have the else statement there. Right. Now let's go and do the last one, I think. So we're going to do a calculation. Let's go and increase the units donated per year for all donations, all learners who have a blood type A and are, well, let's make it blood type B, and they are voluntary. Just blood type B, not A, B or anything. Blood type B, and they are voluntary. So we're going to increase the units donated per year by 5% if the blood type is B and the type of donor is voluntary. So let's go and do that. So what we have to do is TVL, we're going to go through every single row, and then we're going to go while not TVL life dot end of file do, and then we're going to go begin and end. Then we're going to do this, and I'm sure you know how to do this now. Standard procedure. We're going to go through every single row and check each row. So if the blood type is B, okay, so let's go and put our if statement. If TBL life square brackets blood type equals B, oh, we've got to put the B in inverted commas. It's a string, and because we've got two conditions, and TBL life, what is the other condition was if the type of donor was voluntary. So we've got to put type of donor equals in inverted commas voluntary. Now if you do not put a capital V here for voluntary, because that's how it's displayed in the database table, let's have a look. It's capital V for voluntary. You've got to spell that correctly, but the actual table names, it doesn't matter if you get the case wrong. So in other words, you don't use uppercase when you're supposed to with the table name, and the table names or the field names, then it's fine. But when you're looking for something, you must have your case correct, so it is very case sensitive. Then what are we going to do with that? Well, we were going to calculate something. We were going to change the value of the units donated per year. We're going to add 5% to the units donated per year and actually save it on the hard drive. So you've got to say tbllife.edit, and then you go and do your units donated per year. Oof, it's a long one, isn't it? Then you've got to say that equal to something, and then you say tvlife.post. Now this is editing your table. We're going to use our units donated per year. Control C, Control V, and we're going to increase it by this amount times 5 divided by 100, 5%. You can put this in brackets if you want. But now we're increasing it by percentage, but we want to round it. You have to round the whole thing. So I'm going to round the result. I'm going to put round there and close the brackets here. This is very important because that actual field, units donated per year, is an integer and you can't have decimals. As soon as you divide, you know you're going to have a decimal point, and we're dividing here. Yes, we're taking 5% of the number, adding it to the original number to get a new number, but we have to round this whole thing here. This whole thing must be rounded, and then we can post. So that's quite tricky. So I'm going to run the program. Okay, I forgot to close my brackets here. Let's put this on a new line so you can see it. So you have this condition and that condition, and the and is very important, and you have to put both conditions in brackets. If you don't, you lose marks. And then we put it in edit mode and then dot post. And after the edit mode, you do all your calculation, and we referring to TBL life, TBL life, TBL life, units donated per year. Very important to know this format. So let's go and see what's going to happen with the table, and if it works. It's this very last button. So it's voluntary, and the blood type was B. So we can look at that one and this one, that top one. We click on 6. It was units donated was 6, so 5%. let's go and have a look at the top one again. Oh, it's still 6. Well, we didn't increase it by a very large amount, so let's increase it by 20%, and let's see what that looks like. Come on, come on. Okay. Right, so you know it was 6 before, now it's 7. See, I added 20%, so now it's 7. Right, so that worked. Okay, so try it by yourself, and I'll see you around the place.